what the patient, what I call the art seeker, might say or experience from the work, particularly if you know them very well and have worked with them for years. So of course, the title plays a role here. It's useful for the patient to have the title guide him, maybe, as it did in this case, recognizing in the title alone a core issue or emotional conundrum. There was also a worry on the part of the patient who, as I mentioned, lacks self-confidence in specific situations, often in deference to others where he felt inferior, or at the extreme worthless. A worry if what I think as his therapist differs from how he thinks. And so he moved from the elements in this work, the side-by-side meditation of the abstracted bird and the sun becoming mind, and the separation of the title and the above versus below, and saw himself in this work. He seeing himself for years and years straddling a kind of horizon line in his life. He says, in life, your attention and time are taken, yet you are still not separated from a whole, even if you are compartmentalized. And so he connects with the symbolic as he recognizes the abstract concepts represented here and finds them personally salient. Now, on top of feeling at a remove due to his sexuality, he was also his mother's confidant, and he used to be asked by his mother to take kind of sexy pictures of her, the so-called cheesecake photos from that era, and then she would go on to hand these out to her male friends. And on top of this, he even felt at a greater remove from other people in general, today preferring his house, a retreat in the woods with animals, over human intimates in his household. Now, feelings of isolation and alienation were reinforced by critical experiences in his life. He was at Kent State during the tragedy there. And later escaping, making good on a need to escape, he trekked through Siberia, which was a very extremely unusual thing for someone to be doing from the U.S. At that time. But later, he'd have a very difficult time of relating to a very unhealthy and vindictive adult sibling. And in fact, this person lived for years. Imagine this. He lived for years in a nursing home as a healthy adult. It's where he worked. He worked in a nursing home. So the myth of division and separation brought into focus by just how he's played different roles in his life, how this has fed and still feeds his struggles with self-worth and so with depression. Depression, at its worst, hangs over him like the blackest of nights. And he can see well now. Now he can see well how he has gone to such pains, both consciously and unconsciously, to keeping his life simple as a reaction to feelings of alienation. And so consequently denying himself certain pleasures and joys and supports and stability, both inwardly and outwardly, and largely contributing to periodic bouts of depressive desperation. Now, even if this simplification, even it's true, this simplification has not been all bad, because, he tells me in many ways, I am more myself, he feels, than most people are themselves. I play out fewer roles, which is a really kind of interesting concept when you think about how so much is asked of us to be different with different people in different settings and situations, work and everywhere else. And so this simplification is certainly reflected by the simple images and subject of the Morris Cole Graves work. But it's not just that. Moving well beyond mere reflection in this work of art, it is not merely a mirror, but now it is also a window of possibility and of transformation